Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc, love the kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to catch us on our other shows, Plays and Parlays, UFC with LT, Civil Discourse, and The Friday Fix. Hello, Senior Wesley. Welcome back to another exciting episode here of Uncommon Courtesy.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm feeling fantastic.
Hey, so today was a pretty interesting day all the way around. Normally is, but there's so many different things to talk about. Trump gives us a plethora of things to always be able to go through. So, yeah. I know we're going to start with you today. We have some pretty, I would say, I would call it breaking news. I wouldn't call it anything, like a oh my gosh moment. But I guess for some people it will be. Yeah, I'm gonna let you go ahead and address that.
So here we go. Trump targets mail-in ballots, seriously controversial voting machines. President Trump announced that he plans to sign an executive order to eliminate mail-in ballots and seriously controversial voting machines ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. In a statement on his Truth Social platform, Trump leaned into his long-standing disdain for mail-in voting, saying other countries have abandoned the practice because of the massive voter fraud encountered. I'm going to lead a movement to get rid of mail-in ballots. And also, while we're at it, highly inaccurate, very expensive, and seriously controversial voting machines, which cost 10 times more than accurate and sophisticated watermark paper, which is faster and leaves no doubt at the end of the evening as to who won and who lost the election, Trump wrote in his post. We will begin the efforts, which will be strongly opposed by the Democrats because they cheated levels never seen before by signing an executive order to help bring honesty to the 2026 midterm elections, he added. Trump for years has pushed unproven claims about widespread voter fraud involving mail-in ballots. He repeatedly described his 2020 election defeat as rigged, pointing to expand mail-in balloting that was allowed during the coronavirus pandemic. Nearly a third of ballots cast in the 2024 election were submitted by mail, according to the U.S. Election Assistance Commission, EAC. Reports released in June. While mail-in ballots didn't hit the record 43% level seen during the height of the pandemic 4 years earlier, they accounted for 30.3% of the ballots cast in the election, well above pre-pandemic levels. In efforts to dramatically overhaul the way federal elections are run, has faced legal roadblocks in recent months. So first of all, ladies and gentlemen, really quick, he got this idea because Vladimir Putin told him to do it. There's recordings where he's like, oh, mail-in ballots are terrible. We don't do that. So he's like, yeah, I want to do that too. And, he's trying to do whatever he can at this point to stop him from losing that 2026 election.
Yeah, it's crazy. At this point in time, man, we know we're dealing with an authoritarian. We're dealing with somebody who is trying to basically usurp the entire process of that we have in this country. We're watching it. We're looking at DC. Look what they're doing down in DC. He's basically said today, he was like, oh, so they stop elections in your country if there's a war? Oh, that's maybe he's just, it's all jokes and jokes and jokes until it's a reality. And so, but we have to look at him every chance he gets. This person throws former presidents under the bus in front of a foreign country. This is the worst possible person we've ever had a president. There's a bunch of people around him who really like this because these are the worst among us. At the end of the day, you have to really look at the people who he's dealing with, the people who are voting for him. These are the dumbest, most. We're not going to say it's not even about education. It's about common sense and your mental capacity to understand and not be duped and basically be an idiot. That's pretty much what you guys are.
Wes, I think at this point it's about character.
Absolutely.
Most presidents come in and, people, they want to do better for the American people. These people don't care. They're like, look, I know I'm doing terrible, but as long as you're doing worse than me, that's where I'm okay with. They want to watch other people suffer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And for him, he's still trying to distract from the fact that he ain't released those files, nor has he said he is not, a PD. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
not at all. He hasn't even brought that up.
But him trying to get, he's gonna try his hardest to do it. I mean, you saw recently it came out the article saying they're gonna start arresting governors. You know what I'm saying, and mayors and stuff. Like they're trying to come for everything. And it's just how long can people push back?
Yeah, look at this. This is the time that we're living in. This is like, look at his administration. We have to really pay attention to it. Like what he's overstepping boundaries, sending in the National Guard into California, sending in, also Marines into California, now into DC. He's taking like baby steps further, not even baby steps and taking leaps and bounds, and we're doing nothing about it. We're not even speaking on it. A lot of people are afraid to really confront this person about who he is. Oh, we're gonna get really tough on this. They had a thing today where I think an ICE agent shot into a guy's car, and they said, oh well, no one was hurt. Yeah, you know what I mean. But this he's emboldened them. He told police they can go do whatever the hell they want in DC.
They came out with their guns.
Do we not see?
They encountered them.
Do we not see what's happening here? He's turning us into a police state. And when people who live in rural counties, they're not worried about it right now because it's not affecting. Oh, it's all affecting you guys. We're 71% of the economy. Without us, you're nothing. Let's not even act like that. I mean, that's a messed up thing to say, but it's true. It's very much true. There is no America without us.
We have a concentration camp in the swamps of Florida where the people all in a cage have to share one bucket of one bathroom, one toilet that's out in the open. And it's overflowing because they don't have plumbing in it. It's a full-blown concentration camp for people that haven't committed any crimes. They're just not here legally. That's a crime. No, they haven't committed a crime. You know what I'm saying? So the only person I see fighting back right now, shout out to him, Gavin Newsom. He going hard on him right now.
And I don't even. I'm gonna be honest. I've been hard on Gavin.
You don't like Gavin Newsom?
I don't. I mean, because of some of his views.
Yeah,
he's the only one.
Only ones. You see what he's doing? He's putting everything in caps. he got a picture of Hulk Hogan and Kid Rock on his shoulder.
Do you know? I mean, I have two different things I want to talk about, but one of them is there's a reason why Gavin Newsom can do this because that's a country. California is a country. It's not landlocked. It has the largest. It would be like the fourth largest economy in the entire world if it breaks off from America. I mean, they have the largest population. Their largest GDP. Everything. They can have agriculture. They're connected to both. They're connected. I won't say both, but they'd have a corridor to get to Canada or. You know what I mean? If they needed to, or shipping lanes, either way, so they can get what they need. There's a lot of reasons why those guys can do this. But
I mean, if California leaves the United States of America and forms their own country, I'm just saying if they do, Washington and Oregon will follow suit.
I mean, but that I
will. The whole West Coast would go.
It'd be a bad situation. But let me say this, and furthermore, right now, Trump's tariffs are tearing down red states. You look at Nebraska. They're bleeding right now. Nebraska was generally doing pretty well. They actually were doing decent when it came to like red states that didn't need government money, subsidies. They were still getting money, but they were still able to put out more. Their economic output was greater then. And so at the end of the day, but a lot of other red states are bleeding right now because of Trump's tariffs, because now they had a soybean deal that was worth some billions of dollars with China. What did China do? Hey, you know what? We're good. We ain't taking your soybeans. Now they got to sit on them. Now and plus they don't even have they don't have the agricultural teams to be able to go out and do this. So a lot of these farmers are just suffering all through the Midwest because of Trump, because of his tariffs. He's tearing the country apart. But you know who is getting paid? Hedge fund owners, his financial guys. They're making billions. I made this guy $900 billion, bragging about it. What do you make you, farmer? The one who voted for him, the guy who hates everyone else, the guy who thinks everyone else is on welfare and taking from you. Now look at your plate right now. Who's
Did you say the farmer that he was like, yeah, man, all the migrants is gone, so I hired Americans. And they worked half the day. Some didn't show up the next day. Some kind of quit after an hour. They're like, yo, if you work hard enough, I told them if you work hard enough, you can make $100 today. And they was like, nah, bro, I'm out.
Ain't no way. We're not doing none of that, bro. It was like it's okay if you're used to bending over all day and stooping and bending over and pick. It's not the hardest mental job, but it's tough on you physically. So it drains you mentally at the same time. Yeah. That's people who are like more equipped to do those jobs, people who are used to working hard, who come from that type of environment where that's what they probably did, but it's not any of us anymore. But this is America, and this is why they're trying to stop mail-in ballots. Let's talk about that. It's a huge thing right there, and trying to stop, trying to have different voting machines. I wonder whose voting machines they want to use.
They want to go back to paper ballots. Is what he's saying. But think about it right now.
Chads and all that kind of stuff. Huh?
States where when they have voter suppression, they got 2 voting stations, right, for like 500,000 people, right? And it's only open for a certain amount
They
of
do it
time.
in all black community. They do it in all any
Yeah.
urban communities. They do that in. You know what I'm saying? Like where there's where there's a large population, like you said, it's ridiculous, man. That's why they're trying. Remember in Texas, they were cutting down the amount of voting stations and the amount of ballot boxes that they had out there, and they're making it so onerous and hard for you to vote. Who does that? Is it a person who's confident that they're going to win? You won the last election. You won the one in 2020, right? Right? He's a lie. He just sits there and lies so much, man. It's hard to even listen to it anymore.
Well,
I mean, at that point where I can't listen to a dummy like that.
There's
hard,
Matt. I mean, well, there's not discrepancies. We know what it is. A lot of people are just like, I'm not going to vote for a black lady. They're like, I ain't going to do that. But think about it, like the numbers for Joe Biden were so big when he won, and they were so low for Kamala that like he should investigate the one he just won to see what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like
do you hear about all the discrepancies in the voting that just allegedly that happened with him?
Yeah.
But you don't hear us like, touting that as being there. It is what it is. You won, guy. Okay, if this is what everyone says, this is what it is. It is what it is. We're not gonna cry about it.
Maybe we should. Look at Gavin Newsom.
Don't get me wrong.
Gavin Newsom's out here making fun of Trump. He's making tweets like him. He's clowning him. He's going out. He's like, what are you gonna do? Do something. That's how everybody should be. People need to stop. Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. Nah, when they dig low, we dig trenches. Get dirty. You know how to do it better. You're just choosing not to. You're fighting with people that have no moral compass. They don't care what happens to you. They don't care what happened to your mama, your grandparents, your uncle, your aunt, your homeboy that's been in America since he was 2 years old, don't know no better. They don't care about none of y'all. But y'all out here trying to have a conscience for some people that would just rather watch you burn and get marshmallows and do it. Like, look at them go. Look. I see people online all the time, bro. I bring that. Look at all the liberal tears. And I'm like, nobody cares. They're like, oh, I bet this is pissing the liberals off. No, it's not. We don't care.
You're angry with your own personal life, man. You are miserable people. This is what this really boils down to. You guys hate your lives. You hate your wife. You hate your husband. This is what this really is. It's not enjoyable to yourselves. You're like, oh, you want everybody else to be miserable like you. But you see other people do a living. You're like, how are they getting by? They must be on welfare. No, man, there's nobody who getting by on welfare living like that. People who actually have jobs. The progressives and the people in these counties actually have the better jobs. They're doing things. They're not living your kind of a life. They're not miserable and angry at themselves for not doing what they thought they would do in life. That's the problem with you.
I need to add this too at the end of it too. While we're all sitting here arguing on the internet, I need everybody to understand that they came out with a report saying that 50% of the social media traffic is bots. 50%.
That's pretty big right there.
50%. So in the majority of comment sections, you're arguing with a robot that is there to make you mad. So think about it. We might all just be on the same page, but we don't know it because I was reading this article. I was flabbergasted. Like, damn. I mean, we're not all on the same page, but 50%, that's a lot. Half of the people you talking to online are robots.
All smoke, but no fire as Zelenskyy emerges unbruised after Trump meeting. If there was a sign that Volodymyr Zelenskyy wasn't going to be immediately voted off the island of the Donald Trump's diplomacy show, it came early on when a familiar voice commended his choice of attire. President Zelenskyy, you look fabulous in that suit, said Brian Glenn, a pro-Trump pundit and member of the White House press corps, who had attacked him for wearing military fatigues during the infamous Oval Office meeting in February. I said the same thing, Trump added. You are in the same suit, Zelenskyy shot back, earning smiles and laughter from the room, including the U.S. president. I changed. You did not. Thus, Zelenskyy survived his media appearance at the White House with Trump on Monday as the U.S. president focused less on belittling the leader of a wartime ally than boosting, in many cases, exaggerating his exploits as a peacemaker in the world conflicts. Zelenskyy dressed reluctantly in a black military-style suit to appease sticklers for protocol in the White House, largely set by quietly as Trump claimed to have hammered out peace deals in 6 wars, including one the veteran real estate developer said that had taken place in the Republic of Congo. They did say that. From Trump, there was a hyperbole about his ability to broker peace deals. Discretions to internal U.S. political battles over mail-in ballots, nebulous declarations about how he would end the conflict, and evasions over how he would do that without negotiating a ceasefire. But there was no explosions, which meant for Zelenskyy, it probably went as well as it could have. Luckily, Zelenskyy had some help, as well as he was joined by the UK's Keir Starmer and the leaders of France, Germany, Italy, Finland, and the European Union in order to keep the discussion on track to prevent a similar meltdown as took place in February. It was billed as European summit at the White House on Monday, but it might as well have been an intervention. The European leaders were all smiles as they arrived at the White House on Monday afternoon, but they were there to steer Trump away from being sweet-talked by Vladimir Putin into a bad deal on Ukraine and Europe.
Yo, when Trump, my bad to interrupt really quick. Go ahead. I'll let you go first.
Just looking at the meeting, man, it did seem like I knew that they were there because they understood what this was. Trump would try to bully Zelenskyy if he didn't have his allies behind him. You know, I'm not to say that Trump wouldn't try to overtalk these guys, but he understands these are our allies. At the end of the day, we need these guys. You got Putin, who just basically came in there and just steamrolled him at his meeting in Alaska with Putin. Pretty much came in there and said, you know what? I'm going to have your American troops bending down in front of my plane. They got pictures of them rolling out the red carpet for me. I got, you pretty much gave me a ride in the motorcade. In the presidential motorcade, which no one's supposed to be able to go in like that, but he gave him a ride in the motorcade, everything, shaking his hand, tapping his hand, everything, just treating him like your best of friends. But this is the same dude who hasn't listened to you not one time, makes fun of you, puts your wife and naked pictures of your wife on their state television, which he runs. You know what I mean? He doesn't have any respect for you. He doesn't have any respect for a person who's soft and weak. And the people who voted for this guy are just as soft and as weak as this dude is right here.
Yeah, you could see that after the meeting he had with Putin, it was low energy. They didn't take questions afterwards. Even the Fox News, and this from Fox News, they're like, look, it looks like the president just got steamrolled. Like his energy's gone, this and this and that. Because, he thought he was going to make this great deal with Putin, and Putin was just like,
he wasn't there to make one. He wasn't there to make one. You know what I mean? Like, and at the end of the day, he doesn't have to, because we're done. Because we sat by and have done nothing because Trump is in Putin's pockets, just like he's in Israel's pockets. He's in anyone's pockets who knows about the Epstein files or any other kitty or any other frauds or stuff he's done. That's why he tries to be so tough on crime. It's weird to me because in reality, you're a criminal, man. You've done so many criminal acts, it's ridiculous. But now you're some tough on crime guy. Stop it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, my hope was for us to be able to support Ukraine, because we understand that Russia is not our ally. They set up other countries to come against us. This is something that we're on a head-on collision, like we've been on with one with them forever. The next place that we're on a head-on collision with is China. This is just what it is. Not to say that I dislike China, or not to say that I even dislike Russia, but this is life. It is what it is.
China can take over. They were saying this, like, he's so lenient on what Russia's doing and what Israel's doing in Gaza. Saying with the Gaza costs. That, if China takes over Taiwan, what are you going to do? You can't just, because they were saying, if China takes over Taiwan and you try to stop that, then you can't count on the European Union to come in and even help you, because you're giving them so much crap right now. He's creating a lot of rift with all our peoples that are our allies around the world. And think about it. Supposedly, I'm telling you, he's not going to leave. But like when he gets out of office, the damage will be done. They'll be like, no, we're not messing with y'all no more.
Can't trust
you. Never know. In 4 years, someone else might come in and do the same thing again. We're done with y'all.
They're looking at like, you know what? Putin just said, oh, you know what? I can go invade a country, kill a bunch of people, threaten America with any kind of nuclear war, and I'll still be welcome into America with open arms and can go in there and tell you, no, I'm not doing anything you say, and then get on the podium, speak first, and tell you that nothing's going to happen here. He ran that thing. Something is like, there's something amiss between those two. He's afraid of him, just like his wife is afraid of him. There's a reason why. Something's going on. They know something about you, just like they
have
know
information
something
on him. Think about it. They're not the only ones that have videos of Donald Trump allegedly peeing on people and stuff and doing things like this. This stuff is probably circulated. You could pay enough money to get that kind of stuff. They probably had it before he was even thinking about running for president.
Absolutely.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Like, you never know.
They paid, they're giving him a bunch of money to be able to stay in business, man. He got a bunch of money from mobs. They know that you got criminal stuff in your background. They know where all the bodies are. They understand that. And we all know that.
TV put naked pictures up of his wife on their TV, and he didn't even say nothing.
And they continue to do it. And this is their state-run TV. So this is.
But they want to sue Hunter Biden for repeating what a biographer said.
They don't, because they know they have no power there. He's powerless. I've never seen him. I mean, at the end of the day, today's meeting was a decent meeting, but it's a weak meeting when you listen to this guy talk about there's going to have to be concessions, there have to be this, there have to be that, because you're weak. You're a feckless president. You talk a lot about Joe Biden, but did way more than you did. He hurt our enemies 10 times more than what you have. Period, plain and simple. You know what the funny part about it is? Russia's not going to even be able to hold on to the land that they got. That's the funny part about it. The land that they've obtained, they don't even have the bodies to be able to hold on to it. That's the thing about it. Just wait them out now. They killed a lot of and wounded and injured a lot of Russians. This is the problem. And there's a lot of Ukrainians that have been killed and hit
over a million.
And at the same time, but you don't have the manpower to keep all the land you got. And that's the bigger thing right there. Over a course of time, they'll get all that back in spades.
Yeah. Black Ohio community forms armed group after neo-Nazi rally. Residents of a majority black town in Ohio have reportedly launched an armed patrol for their protection after criticizing the police response to the neo-Nazi demonstrations in February. The Cincinnati suburb of Lincoln Heights garnered national attention after a neo-Nazi group waving swastika flags and hurling racial slurs demonstrated on a highway overpass on the edge of the community on February 7th. The incident sparked outrage, with residents at the town hall questioning why officers from the neighboring village of Evandale and deputies from Hamilton County Sheriff's Office who responded to the incidents made no citations or arrests. They expressed concerns that they would not be safe if another similar incident occurred. Residents then started the Lincoln Heights Safety and Watch program. Mr. Daniels, the Watch Group spokesperson, told the Washington Post in February that residents took up arms shortly after the neo-Nazis left and community leaders formed the program in order to organize them. The program coordinates about 70 guards who watch the roads leading into the town and go on armed patrols, the Post reported. Ohio laws allows anyone legally permitted to own a gun to open carry without a permit. The group also patrols near bus stops to make sure students go to school safely, according to the NBC News report. Video captured a news station showed the volunteer guard wearing tactical gear and face covering as they patrol the street. Hamilton County Sheriff's Chairman McGuffey, whose deputies were assigned to patrol Lincoln Heights, said during a news conference in February that she did not support the creation of a neighborhood militia. The Cincinnati Enquirer reported that some people have called 911 to complain about armed men, including 3 that recounted confrontations. Daniels told the Post that the Watch program was not a militia or engaged in vigilantism, and that reports of those who challenged passerbys were about residents not affiliated with the Watch program. Other residents have expressed support for the Watch program, with Alanda's Powell, a nonprofit director, telling the newspaper that the town has the right to set up a program for its protection. Now, for me, I'm all for it. Now, people need to understand when the Black Panthers was created, and then they initially fell out. That's what the gangs in your neighborhoods. That's what they were initially created for. They were to protect you from this happening, because back then European Americans were allowed to get drunk and get bored, drive into a black town, grab whoever they wanted to, drag them behind a truck and kill them, or go hang them somewhere, and there'd be no repercussions. And now you see what happened February 7th. These people came to a black neighborhood, did protested with swastikas and called the people N-words and all kind of stuff, and the police did what? Did nothing. So the neighborhood, which by all means was created as a safe haven for black folks during Jim Crow so they could be safe, formed their own protection. And this is what it needs to go back to. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear no more rappers that's, talking about, oh, yeah, I'm in this block, I'm in this block. If you ain't protecting the block, you ain't nothing. And this is what has to happen. And shout out to Tariq Nasheed, because he said, we do better under a racist administration, because that means as black folks, we have to work together. Because if we don't, we won't survive. Shout out to these people over there in Ohio for doing this.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on. This is what I liken a lot of this to, like, it's akin to when you see those guys hopping out of the U-Haul trucks. You gotta look at, like, even what the ICE agents are doing, but it's the same exact people. Man, when you look at them, they're probably the same people.
They are.
When you really think about it, you know what I mean. And so, why shouldn't we arm ourselves if you have trained killers coming into our neighborhood? Allegedly, you have trained people who are fully armed coming in with face masks on and guns. There's a reason why you're wearing a face mask. You don't want anybody to know who you are. Yeah. You want to know who you are, but you got a gun. You know what I mean? Like, you're so worried about black kids in the neighborhood doing that and going to the stores, whatever, with Pooh Shiesty mask on. These guys walk around with masks on all day. It happens all the time in Tennessee and other states like that. 24/7, you guys are doing this. But the difference is, though, they're not going into those black neighborhoods like that. They're really not. They're going into, like, the black neighborhoods where there's not that type of. It's probably more upper crest black neighborhoods. You're not going into the real black neighborhoods where people it's gonna go down. It'll really happen that way. People ain't gonna sit there and watch you just march through south side of Chicago not to just bring them up into it like that. They ain't going for that over there. Period.
Yeah,
going to them neighborhoods.
Remember, they had the video where the people they drove through in trucks, and the people were trying to the black folks were trying to block them off. Why don't you stop? Why don't you stop? Stop then. And they just kept on going, but this is how it should be. It's neighborhood protection. You need to protect your block, protect your neighborhood. And they can be like, well, there's a lot of crime up there. There's crime everywhere, man. I just saw an article where 16 kids, and what was it? I think it was North Carolina, just got arrested, all European Americans, for killing one 16-year-old. 16 of you. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to go online and watch crime, but for me, it's like I'll see a video of a group of black people fighting, then the next video is a group of white people fighting. You know what I'm saying? Everybody does it. You want to point at one group, you know what I'm saying, but act like, you're not doing anything. Show me a perfect race and that's fine. But once again, back on topic.
Yeah.
Protect your neighborhood. If you're out there and you acting like you hard and you're a thug and you doing all this stuff, if you ain't protecting your neighborhood, you're just terrorizing your people. And if you're terrorizing your people, you're no better than the people with the swastikas wearing masks trying to terrorize them, because you're just doing it right when the police ain't there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, ladies and gentlemen, for our final act, Israel's government official arrested in child sex crime sting flees to Israel. Well, he didn't flee, but an Israel government official was arrested during a child sex crime joint sting operation in Nevada earlier this month, racking up a felony charge of luring a child with a computer for sex acts, according to Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Tom Arton Alexandrov, I think I probably botched his last name, 38, was named as one of the 8 arrested during a Nevada Internet Crime Against Children Unit joint operation with the FBI's Child Exploitation Task Force earlier this month. He was reportedly released from custody with $10,000 bail after an initial court appearance and then returned to Israel. Those arrests reportedly believed that they were meeting underage children whom they had met online for sex acts, but they were apprehended by law enforcement and a part of a 2-week sting operation. According to the alleged screenshots of a since-deleted LinkedIn profile, Alexandrov is the executive director of Israel's Cyber Directorate, a government agency that operates under Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office. Another screenshot also places him in Nevada during early August, talking about the Black Hat Conference and the cybersecurities. Black Hat 2025 was a cybersecurity conference scheduled from August 2nd to 7th at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center in Las Vegas. The Jewish Chronicle reported that Tom Alexandrov is due in court in Clark County, Nevada on August 27 in connection with the alleged offense on August 6th, a date that coincides both with the Black Hat Convention and with the Nevada police sting operation. He was reportedly released from custody on $10,000 bail after initial court appearance and then returned to Israel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here we go right here. He was caught in the U.S. Child sex predator sting. Netanyahu's cyber chief was charged and jailed until Trump's White House intervened to make sure he got back to Israel safely. Officers involved in the sting say that the Trump administration personally intervened at Israel's request to override the U.S. law enforcement, including their own federal agents involved in the sting, to make sure Alexandrov got back to Israel quickly and safely. Now, ladies and gentlemen, understand this. This man came to America from a foreign country and tried to lure children to his hotel room for sexual acts. He was arrested. He's not from America. So if you let him go, what happens if you let him go and he's not from here? He's a flight risk. And the United States government, the Trump administration, let him out of jail and then let him return back to Israel. Now, Wes, if you committed a crime and you are from a foreign country and I let you out and go back home, are you going to come back to court?
You know what's going to happen. We know what Israel is. Israel's a non-extraditable country. This is the same thing that happened with Epstein. Same exact thing. There's
sexual predators from America. That's where they flee to, is Israel.
I mean, but most of them are Israeli, so they let them go there. And this, but it was his intel chief, correct? It was his intel chief, correct?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Now think about that. Now
he works for the intel chief, so he wasn't even like people. You can say he has diplomatic immunity, but he doesn't.
No one's gonna bring that up. I'm saying like this. Now you're luring kids. This sounds almost like an Epstein type of deal right here. Now you're intel chief, so that means your intelligence chief. You work for the intel, whatever. You're in that environment. Are you luring kids so that and then in point, well, whether you mess with them or not, now you flip them around and start having them mess with politicians as well in America? Is that why they let you go? What's going on? We need more information about who this person was and what they were really doing here. That's what it sounds like to me. If you want to break down what Epstein was, sounds about the same thing. He was messing with the little girls too. He was messing with the little kids as well. Then he turn around, flip them, have them messing with other politicians. You know what I mean? Heads of state, princes, all kinds of stuff that was going on around here. We saw it. You know what I mean? Business leaders. We saw this was going on. So was this your next Epstein? Was this your one of your other Epsteins that was caught here? We just didn't catch on about it. And you let him get away. Is this what this was about?
Yeah,
I'm wondering.
It could have been that, or maybe he was just in America feeling kind of freaky and thought this was a secure line, which is crazy. But still, we're pretty sure the United States government came in and was like, let him go. First of all, they let him out on bail, $10,000 worth of bail.
Who lets him out on bail?
Why would you
take his passport? You take his passport. You're supposed to have your passport. He's not even from this country. You're supposed to have your passport taken immediately. That's the first thing. They won't even let Puffy and him out on bail. They won't let Lil Durk out on bail. Period. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real here. They let this dude who they know is a foreign national out on bail, and they didn't take his passport. Take your passport.
And he was trying to sleep with American children.
Children, man.
Children. We don't even know if it was boys or girls.
Doesn't matter. But it does. But it does.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, it doesn't, but it does. You know what I'm saying? And the Trump administration let him go. They ordered to let him go, and they also allowed him to leave the country. They will flag you. There's a way you cannot leave. It ain't like he slipped away. He slipped through our fingers. It doesn't happen like that. He had to catch two planes.
If you're on probation, bro, if you're on probation, it pops up. If you got to open anything on your thing there, it pops up when you're about to leave the country. It just does.
He had to get on two planes. He had to leave the plane, then and he had to leave Las Vegas, fly to New York or Florida, and then get there and then get to where he's going.
They let him go. They wanted him to leave because this was some part of some type of operation. This was some part of some operation right here, man, that was going on in this country. And this is why it was supposed to be let go and it's not supposed to be talked about. That's why I'm very happy we're bringing it up right now. We need to do more digging on this situation and figure out who this person is and what he was really doing. Yeah, he's working for the chief of your intel, but that means something. Intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the type of intelligence that they really want to have on you. Blackmail. Yeah. Everyone knows these people are prolific at using blackmail, especially when it comes to messing with kids.
Maybe he is the new Epstein.
I'm just saying, we have to really look at this for what that is. You're in this department. Why they care about you getting home so badly if you're over here committing crimes? It wasn't just like, oh, that's my guy, I need him home. No, something was going on that he knew, or something that they could have trailed back to him. If they would have really dug into him and trailed him back, they could have found more information. He just got caught up in a bad sting. That's what basically happened here. He got caught in a bad sting, bro. That's what I believe.
Think about what they went through his computers or whatever. If they took his stuff, you just never know. Yeah, they had to get him back, and then
they had to get him out of here.
And the Trump administration let him go. Let him go. We're going to keep you up to date on all this, folks. This is Uncommon Courtesy. Until next time.